Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you two matches, right? Of Eagle mirror matches of the Global League. The first one is going to be like an introduction. It's going to be myself against Funky Onion. This was from a few months ago. Funky Onion is an intermediate player around 1200. So very solid. And I'm going to show you what I was thinking, like what's the approach to do in an Eagle mirror and how it works. And then I'm going to show you this match that is between two of the very best high funds players there are. Another Eagle mirror. And why at that point it gets to a certain point of the meta of Eagle mirror that is just insane. So hold on tight and wait for this one, because this one is an absolute banger. It was one of the most followed games for a while. Another also from a few months ago. So quickly, let's just start off with this one. It was me against Funky Onion, 1200 player, Eagle mirror, high funds, 3 base, 1 airport map. Kind of an awkward map where you fight a lot for these city and com tower areas and these things, but pretty much what mattered the most, as I'm gonna go ahead with a match. My whole point here, my whole strategy was to rush income. It doesn't matter the trades that you get. It doesn't matter if you go for negative kind of trades. As long as you have more income, you're able to solidify contested properties, and then you stall it out. You point at your own cities with indirects, artilleries, rockets, and whatnot to hold those properties. And then with the negative trades of vehicles, of engagements, you'll have more charge. You'll be slightly even or slightly below in unit value, perhaps in unit count, but because you had more income, then you're able to hold it on and maybe get back ahead in the unit value, but also you'll be ahead in the charge, which is the most important thing, which is what I want to get to. You want to be ahead in charge. So already we're gonna have some discrepancy here. Funky Onion is gonna go with a very greedy opening of an APC. I'm not sure if it's common in this map. I haven't really played this map too much, but very similar opening here. It was capturing this and then going for the middle. Kind of want to get it first, or else it gets locked and it gets contested and all that. So this tank reaches in one turn. So yeah, we're both trying to rush this, and he's going to try to get this APC probably to rush some of these properties. And I'm going for a recon here, and this is really hurting my own economy, because this could be an infantry that will go and capture this or this and speeds up a lot. So this recon has to get a lot of damage, and we'll see if it does. And this artillery, the plan was to protect this guy, so you could capture, and yeah, that's exactly what it's gonna do, and it's gonna protect it like that. And then I'm gonna make another vehicle. So again, just kind of falling behind on that income in the early game, just aiming to harass. This recon is gonna be pointing at this corner, so it's gonna force a tank, this tank, to go over here instead of over here, kind of creating a decision, especially because an APC was made, so then he has one less vehicle. And he'll also have to be pumping out more tanks over here if he wants to respond to all the threats, right? But no, he makes one over here. So Funky Onion is playing it more normal, right? More traditional kind of playing, more conservative, more standard. And I'm really going to abuse of that strategy that Eagle wants to go for in his own mirror, right? This is not what you want to be doing as Eagle against I don't know, some others. Usually Eagle just wants to really stall it out. Maybe you could do this kind of approach to solidify contested properties and stall it out, but this is something unique of Eagle mirrors. So we will finish our caps here. Artillery is in position to kind of shoot at this guy. One of my other objectives is going to be to really take down his infantry. I really want to slow down his capture game, as then you're gonna start being really low in infantry. So there you go, I'm gonna get a nice shot there. This recon is nice and in range of that city to interrupt, but he also brought his own tank, sit on the city, so it's kind of a nice terrain. A bit ambitious, because I am actually still going to go for that shot. I'm still gonna go and interrupt, because that's a lot of value. Stopping these captures is exactly what I want to, and I'm going to go for that trade, which makes it, it's an even trade. Again, It's what I want. And it also is going to make it so his recon is going to live. So if he either goes and shoots this recon, then I'm going to take out this tank, and then I'll be kind of ahead in value. So that's nice. And then the artillery is just going to lock down that comm tower. Just trying to be really annoying and stopping as many captures, right? So I'm not really going to get too much into super detail of what we're doing, just more precisely that strategy and how it works out. So he actually doesn't go for that because he wants to go for that for a more even trade and non-negative trade. So he's going to just hit tank and tank, recapture, because then it would go through. But I am just going to sacrifice that recon. I'm going to go down in unit value. So there you go, boom. I'm going to sacrifice my own recon. So that's one infantry down, a whole city went down, and now that's really slowing down all of these 3 property captures, right? This turn, if not, like that last turn would have finished the capture, that infantry, and then it could have started walking out for these. That's no longer the case. Now I have to bring in a new infantry, and then it's going to take 3 turns to start capturing this. So it's really delaying. So this recon is paying for itself by many times. And then just gonna set up over here, try to get this, again, tank. It's already gotten what it wanted, and just gonna go and injure this infantry. It's the only healthy one in this area because this one was shot at by the artillery. So really, like, look at those infantry, they're very scarce. There's only a few of them left that are healthy. So this is gonna slow the capture possibilities of this area. It's gonna make it so I can get in time to interrupt it, right? If not, this infantry could have started a capture on this city, and then I wouldn't have been able to interrupt it, or I would have to send my tanks. Well, maybe it was okay, but this is still a lot of value, right? For a 4 HP tank, I'll probably lose it this next turn. Oh, see. He also makes a T-copter, so really greedy play. Kind of playing it as like, you know, I'm Eagle in a normal matchup. I'm gonna greed out on properties. It's okay, you know, you're gonna get a contested, it's fine. I'm just gonna play the long game kind of thing. But this is not a normal Eagle matchup. It's an Eagle mirror. So it kind of distorts everything. So only because he made a T-copter is the reason that I make my own. And again, this tank is just gonna go and keep attacking those healthy infantry to, like, this one was a new one that was gonna be responsible for these captures. And again, another turn delayed in capture. So really trying to delay that income. It's not gonna be that noticeable. Like, you can look at the income and he's gonna be even slightly ahead. So, but it might pay off, right? I have this property in the comm tower and he does not, and I'm already logging it down. So that's something. And then I'm gonna have this property and he still hasn't. I mean, I have this one, he hasn't. So he has to first capture this and then go for those. So he's gonna be late in that. And then he's trying to kind of ball up in the middle. Again, another very classic Eagle thing to try to stall it out. And so I kind of have to respect that, because if he kind of bunches everything up and then he takes over one side, then he'll get a bunch of income and I lose my whole tempo. Like, that's what I've been working so hard on, to get that extra income and the negative trades to be ahead in charge. You can see I'm slightly ahead on charge, right? But not that much behind on unit value. And it's just that slight little bits of extra income. So he's gonna keep moving more towards the middle, bunching up more over here. He like really wants to invest into getting this comm tower and city, and also locking down his own city. I was trying to, you know, I'm pointing at multiple things, just trying to be as annoying and keep everything contested as much as possible. I actually don't start my turn ahead, right? Okay, I start even in income, which is already kind of being ahead, and I get 3 cities, and next turn he won't finish any capture. So it's finally paid off. You can finally see it actually paying off. I think it has, if you look at probably like the funding curve, but now you can really see it. The fact that he's gonna end the turn behind on income is really gonna hurt. And now all of those properties are kind of, you know, locked down. I even got a rocket, so I can lock down my own city, the one in the middle, possibly the comm tower. I can kind of nestle it over here between these mountains, you know, and block off everything and make it really awkward for him to break through and attack my rocket. So I can really protect these, because that's this is the phase. We've gone past the phase 1 of the strategy, right? The rushing everything, harassing infantry and captures. and getting quickly some of the contested. Now it's the phase of like sitting back, pointing at my own properties and denying his. And now, I could be happy with just stalling it out and accumulating value. The problem is that charge. We're still pretty far ahead, so I do want to get into some more negative trades. He's gonna send a copter here to attack one of my infantry. It looks like he's trying to copy what I was doing of the harassing his infantry. Or might be getting a little bit annoyed at this whole eagle mirror situation. Who knows? But there goes the fighter. It's gonna get a free kill because there's no anti in range, which in part is good for him for what I was trying to do, get more charge, right? Like this copter kill, I kind of have to get that copter kill. Like I have to, and so that's gonna put him ahead on charge. So I really need to get some very negative trades. Like you will never hear these words in any other matchup, but here, like I need to get into negative trades to have more charge. But yeah, look, because now he's ahead on charge, and that's going into my whole strategy. Like you want to be. It's really about who gets that lightning strike first. So very, very crucial. So I'm gonna make another fighter. Well, the first one was in response to this bomber. Now he's gonna make a fighter. Classic iPhones things that you just start chaining fighters. But I kind of went and tapped at another infantry. These are the only ones that were in range, right? So I was like, again, and nothing to kill, so I was free. And then I went ahead and sent this copter and tank. Copter to attack this tank, and this one I think attack the infantry, so I can try to get this. But copter's gonna go down, tank is gonna go down for like a very negative trade, right? Just like half a tank and then losing 2 vehicles without any response. That's usually game losing. Look at that, boom, boom. Even gets the interrupt, and my copter's gonna go down, and I have nothing to respond to. So catching up a little bit on that charge. I am 4K ahead in income. Looks like I'm not gonna get this property. Unit value, not that bad, so half a turn. So I should be way more ahead because of the extra income, but again, I'm trying to lose stuff so I can get ahead on charge. So he's now gonna try to get that. I got this artillery locking down the city. There's a lot of like little tactical positioning things that we were doing, but I don't want to get too much into the detail of that because I want to show you the next game. So this one is just to show you the strategy. Like Funky Onion is doing all the right things that you have to do in the to get to the intermediate level, which is good builds, good tactics, good positioning, all that thing. He's doing everything correct, but the knowing the exact strategy that you have to do in the specific CO matchup is the key to the next step. And so I think that's the thing that he was missing here, and I'm really trying to push that. Like I'm really pushing the envelope. I'm sacrificing this tank, look, literally in range of that artillery, just to stop this capture, and sending this other recon to also injure this images. I'm really trying to. I'm gonna lose vehicles to get more charge and stop his income. So kind of like bringing it even in that sense. I really want to lose. I really want to lose more units and value so I can get more charge. I want to be the first one to get lightning strike, and this is the positioning nightmare now that like you have to be careful if you allow a first strike here with a fighter. How much does it charge? And like if he gets a super before I do, I lost. That's it. That pretty much is the deal. So he's gonna go ahead and clean up this. I have to make sure that everything positioned here was didn't allow a lot of good first strikes of high value from him. There was this one fighter hit, but I had to make sure that doesn't give him the super. And so the plan is to get the super first. Sorry, I was making sure that the music was being recorded, and yeah, it is. Well, not the music, the sound effects. Yeah, I'll probably just put like the normal music instead of the Eagle music, because I don't want to have you guys listen to Eagle music for however long this video will be. So yeah, but I'll have the sound effects on. So he does go ahead and clean that up, takes out my tank and infantry. And because of that, you can see that charge. Look at that. This is one whole star, one whole bar extra charge at the start of my turn. I am behind like 30,000. It's somewhat like half of a turn, but I'm pretty ahead on value. Now he does commit a mistake here in positioning. The thing that I had been very careful the turn before to not allow him get the super from a bunch of first strikes, he does kind of allow that. He puts his fighter in range, and then he also puts his bomber in range, so I'm able to break through there, and then fighter's gonna get the kill. Look at how much that charges. I do have to get the super right now, or else he's gonna get it and then I lose, but it's not gonna be that tough. There's a few tank hits over here, so boom, boom. So, and yeah, and the super is right there. So now it's all about moving the indirects into position to shoot next turn, bring all these units, build more vehicles, and there goes the super. And this is just beautiful Eagle lightning strike. You know, if you had a lightning strike turn with Eagle, you know what I mean. Look, it's just absolute massacre. Just destroy every single vehicle on site. Like literally, everything just goes down. It's just insane. I think I wasn't able to get this breakthrough. I wanted to attack with a tank, but whatever, it just sits there. And you do have to brace for the counter lightning strike, but look at those unit values. It was at like 200 and something, and now it's down at 80. Like, there's one healthy tank that is fresh from the base in this area. That's it. Maybe this one is at 8. All these are injured. This anti is injured. Like, there's no anti-airs pretty much. All the anti-airs were sniped, so no answers to the copters or the fighters. There's this single fresh, like pretty much all the healthy units are the ones that were just built, and then there's one tank and this other tank. That's it. So he is going to go for that lightning strike. He's gonna take. I mean, lightning strike is still really scary. You'll see how much value this gets. Just gonna go for some blocking here, and then I guess also because I'm kind of overextended. But yeah, boom, boom. That's gonna go down. Rocket is gonna get taken down as well. That's the capture can stop, but doesn't get enough of like the amount of value that he needs. Right? I'm still at 170. All the vehicles have kind of moved. And yeah, I'm still very much ahead, and I was the first one, which means that I will be getting the next lightning strike most likely. Like after I keep brawling right now on this turn, I'll get a bunch of charge with him not getting any. So it's most definitely a case of me getting the second lightning strike and he taps out, which makes sense. So again, Funky Onion was doing all the correct things. I think for you to get to intermediate level, which I've talked about before in my videos of the Get Better at Add-Ons Wars series, you kind of have to improve in a bunch of things, but then it's like tactics and like small strategy and stuff like that, or like overall strategy. But to really break through, you really have to look at the specific strategies in certain CO matchups. I guess, I don't know, there's certain top level players that don't really, that they kind of always, they have their own unique strategies or whatever, but yeah, it's like, it was very clear that the strategy that I went for here worked out better, just rushing stuff, harassing his eco, and just really rushing the contested properties. And then after that, once the mid game comes along, when all the vehicles and everything comes to the front lines, I just sit back, point on my properties, hold that income, and keep getting some negative trades with my extra income. So we'll be getting like, if we do like even trades or slightly negative, we'll be still somewhat similar in unit value, but I'll be ahead in charge, and then I'll be the first one to get the super, and that's GG. So that's what happened. And it works because he wasn't doing that. But imagine if he was doing the same thing, then that's, yeah. So now I want to show you this match. And this match is between a true boss and Jetagwin. These are two of the best high funds players out there, right? And again, another global league. This map doesn't have airports. It's 4 base, mixed base. And this is two of the best players in high funds playing Eagle Mirror, kind of a nightmare, right? So the meta gets pushed really to the limits here. So they're gonna try to do something similar, maybe kind of rushing some cities, not going for immediate caps. Maybe a true boss is, but it's gonna be interesting to see. This one was crazy, guys. One of the most followed games at the time. It gets pretty crazy. I think it's a pretty good illustration of how Eagle Mirrors can be, why so many people, how do you say, they dread There's a lot of people that dread Eagle Mirrors, myself included. I had literally messaged Funky Onion on that match at the very beginning, and I was like, hey, if you want to draw, like, let's draw, because Eagle Mirrors are a nightmare. And it really was. It was like sitting in the move planner and analyzing amount of charge. Those turns before, it was like so complicated to make sure he doesn't get the super and all that. But he was like, no, I don't know. I'm okay. Let's play it out. I was like, okay, cool. Let's play it out. And so we did, and we had a nice match. And so over here, we see a tank build over here trying to contest this infantry. It's going to force Atrubas to make a tank. I guess the positioning here works for Atrubas since the infantry can be here and covered by the artillery. So that'll be fine. But the tank, I think, is more so to kind of contest the middle area as well. So it's really going to not allow Atrubas to rush these properties. So similar thing here. But both players are going to try to do the same thing. In a mixed base scenario though, which is a bit more tricky, but trying to deny the income from the other player, right, while ensuring yours, although by very slightly. Like the margins here are going to be crazy tight, okay? So if there's one player that has one extra city by the mid game, and then they kind of stall it out, that player is going to be ahead. Then they can start kind of trading again. That's kind of how it goes. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do here. Little classic artillery positioning over here to capture, protect from this tank or artillery. I wouldn't be surprised if you still send... tricky though. Do you lose the value of this tank? Maybe you should. Okay, goes for the infantry instead of going for this capture. And then... Ooh, that's actually pretty nice. And then if this keeps capturing, he can get a poke there with the tank. But getting into certain brawls here can be dangerous. Again, that charge, it's really all that matters, getting that super first. But I don't want to say too much because this match gets pretty crazy. Rico's gonna sit on the city, so kind of joining in some of these troops. Jataquin trying to join with the ones over here. He's somewhat protecting this capture with his tank. Sitting on this forest though, I guess they don't have their comm towers yet, so sitting on forest is pretty nice. You get into a 6-7 possible trade kind of thing. But yeah, Trupas does get this city. And then he's kind of locking down over here. There's these narrow pathways that are so great, and there's no copters too. And he's actually not going to engage over here. He's not going to attack. Pull back. So he's not going to get these cities. So Jatagan was able to get away with that with an early presence and denying, just kind of interrupting there and then joining the forces, made sure that Atrubos can't get them. So maybe Atrubos is going to go for these two, right? Jatagan is going to sacrifice an infantry over here to just injure this infantry, which will slow down the capture of the city again. I'm telling you guys, this is what you gotta do in Eagle Mirrors. Because if this was like, I don't know, Olaf or something, I don't know if you would do this. Like, it'd be something similar, but way toned down, just like more normal. Like, yeah, you interrupt a capture here, but you try to maintain a stally board, and you try to do some very soft brawling to up the charge, and then eventually, boom, strike and get that lightning strike before the Winter Fury, something like that. But here, it's really complicated. So, that eventually did slow down that capture, right? So Atrubas is going to still go for that. Jatagan was able to also deny this capture. They're going to get some infantry. Well, Atrubas is going to kill 2 infantry there. And Jatagan looks like he's going to get this city. Atrubas even poking again here with his tank, but he does have this artillery. We'll see if Jatagan decides to attack. He does have the support of his Neo tank, but this base is getting a little bit overwhelmed. You got the forces from this base kind of front shifting from the middle over here to get this city, and you have these forces over here. So you got this little stare down over here. Jatagan looks like he's going to double down, and he used artillery to facilitate taking the tank out from the city. He does get the city and sending more forces. So really joining over here brings the Neo tank as well. So not going to engage over here, which makes a lot of sense. Great positioning here by Atrubas. Double artillery, you don't want to mess with that. Medium tank here, somewhat of a response perhaps to to the Neo tank, or maybe he just wants to build some bigger units. I think it's more so to help this area, perhaps. We'll see. It'll be also a great wall, since Neo tanks, I think, can one-shot a tank. Let's see. Let's quickly check. But I think Neo tanks can... Yeah, so Neo tanks can one-shot a tank or an infantry as well, right, on the plains. And there's a bunch of like choke points. So it's going to be important to have units that don't die from a one-shot of a Neo tank. So, yeah, Neo tank is going to go to the right, actually. Just going to block off over here. Looks like he's joining more forces. So just keeping 2 Neo tanks over here, and now all of a sudden the map has changed. It went from like a bunch of pressure on this base to Jitaguin, to then into eventually being able to join these forces. And now it looks like Atrubos is kind of shifting his forces, not even towards the middle, because these infantry are not in range of the city. Kind of shifting forces towards the right. Jitaguin somewhat responding, right? He's not gonna mirror. He's not gonna go for this corner base. He's actually mirroring. So he wants to catch these forces from Atrubos off guard. He doesn't want to let these guys kind of go towards the middle, free positioning, join this army kind of thing. He's like, I'm actually going to get this city. I want to be higher in income. If you look at that income, they're both dead even. They're both at 46. Somewhat less even in that unit value for Atrubos. As you can also see it on the charge, right? He starts the turn ahead on charge. Not a bad thing. Again, I've said it like a million times already in this video, but you do want to be the one ahead in charge, but it's really tricky because you don't want to fall maybe too much. At this point, it's kind of fine with these amount of unit values. It's kind of fine as long as you can be the first one in getting that super. But man, it's hard to position precisely and not let a first strike, lightning strike, or a brawl that you think you would get it, but then you don't, and then the other one gets it. It's a nightmare. So we're gonna get this nice long diagonal line of army from Atrubos. Kind of sent 2 tanks, and then the others are kind of front shifting towards over here. Made 2 Neo tanks to protect this, but they're really respecting each other. Like the tanks are not in range of each other's tanks. Even the positioning here from Jitaguin makes it so this Neo tank cannot first strike a Neo tank. Like there's not a lot of high value first strikes for Atrubos right here, right? You have to sacrifice, like he can sacrifice a tank, for example, and then he could take out a tank and maybe attack with this other tank, and that's it. Like that's not gonna give him enough charge. And if he does that, then sure, he'll have a bunch of charge, but then maybe Jitaguin can get the super after that. Or if he doesn't, because he just sacrificed a bunch of units, then he'll just be ahead on value, and then he can take away some of these cities, right? So it's so complicated. Over here, this city has not gone captured. At least there's a bigger stare off that I kind of breezed through. But it looks like now these armies are going to mirror directions. It looks like they both got the cities in the middle after so much staring at each other. So there's not too much more to get here, rather, other than trying to flip the other ones, but that's gonna be too much, and then you might get into that trade, into a brawl that would give too much charge to the other one. So now Jitaguin is kind of shifting those forces towards this corner, so attempting to go maybe for a base flip or a base kill, or however you want to call it. Just investing pretty much all the army, like almost nothing over here. This artillery is only locking down this, so he's giving up on the city. A single infantry is like in range, but you can easily block it off. He's gonna back off over here, just make infantry, investing mostly over here, possibly to overrun this base. And it's like danger now. Like this is so far away for a Atrubos' army that now he has to do the same, right? He has to mirror that and double down on this base. This has very quickly become a base trade scenario. Infantry is going to start capturing the city. The tank is going to sit right in front of it, so this, infantry doesn't get it, and that might now put Atrubos ahead on income. But the crazy thing is that after this whole dance of back and forth of me trying to get one city or the other, the positioning or the charge here, now like there is not going to be any big army against big army engagement, because both big armies are very far away from each other. So now it's going to be a base trade. And it's like, do you want to use your super as Jitaguin goes and send some of the light vehicles in to attack, Do you want to attempt to get lightning strike here to take over the base, or maybe to defend your base? I mean, to defend your base, I think it would make the most sense. So they do have to be careful here, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. Because if there's some world where, for example, like say a troop boss over here, I don't know, has there's so many neo tanks. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 neo tanks for Jetaguin. If there's some world where Atrubos had a bit more army and he can kind of lightning strike his way, like say Jetaguin didn't position properly like he did, defending or covering these neo tanks with all his light vehicles. Instead puts the neo tanks in front, and then a troop boss can kind of shoot at them, first strike, get a mega tank, take them out, take out the artillery. That kind of world where lightning strike could save a troop boss's base, or like delay it by a lot, and at the same time he could obviously overrun this base very easily. Then that would be game winning. So they do have to be careful of that. So he's gonna do the same. This neo tank is not even in range of any. It's not gonna be in range of any of these neo tanks, and we're gonna see our first mega tank of the match by a troop boss over here. So neo tanks are gonna get taken out. All this is gonna get taken out. All these neo tanks are in range of these neo tanks, so I wouldn't be surprised if Jetagun goes in and takes them all out, and actually sacrifices the tank, and which guarantees the double hit KO there with the neo tanks, and now successfully has taken over this base. And they both have lightning strike. Do you think Jetagun will use that lightning strike? Probably not. It's so far away. If he had enough forces here to kind of defend from this, which you need way more than this, then maybe, yeah. But the thing now is that because he was able to successfully trade this earlier, and it was because he kind of was the first one to start the shift towards the base as well, so he got the earlier positioning and everything. He is now the first one to start moving part of that army towards the middle, and he makes double mega tank. Oh, I guess this was not the first mega tank. This was the first mega tank by Jetagun. And at all this, like Atrubos is ahead on income. He did get this city, and I guess now, yeah, he's flipped a few, but income right now is going to be all wonky, so it doesn't really matter because they're going to be flipping all of these properties in these corners, as Atrubos is going to go ahead and, yeah, absolutely destroy all this. I mean, it doesn't get to take out the base completely. There still is one neo tank, but not much that you can build here. Maybe if you want to make a mega tank, but it's not going to survive too much. You have 2 artilleries and a bunch of neo tanks. You'll be surprised the amount of damage that neo tanks can do to mega tanks. But this is giving so much tempo advantage to Jetagun. He just makes an infantry. He's like, I don't even care. Like, this is fine. I don't want to invest a mega tank here. That's gonna die. I'd rather make one over here, or make some neo tank or something. So he's gonna go ahead and flip all this stuff. This is annoying little infantry on this lab, which is still very important, because if it wasn't, then maybe he could get this lab and then maybe get this one, and then he'd win. As long as Atrubos didn't get this one quickly enough. So important thing that they notice right there. But yeah, now Atrubos is going to take that out, and you can notice the earlier positioning that Jetagun is getting towards the middle. And now this is more like classic Eagle, right? Eagle getting that middle death ball, unmixing of the map. It's funny how unmixing this benefits Eagle, but in this case it benefits both. But the only one that's advantage here is the one that gets to the middle first. The first one to death ball is going to be the strongest one. And so that is Jetagun in this case, as only now Atrubos was able to start moving some of the units towards the middle. But it's going to be really awkward. Like, you have a few mega tanks and stuff over here, a few neo tanks, medium tank over here, a few mega tanks, and you're split around by all this terrain. Well, Jetagun he has already joined all his army. He can kind of dictate where he wants to go. He'll probably go for these 2 cities though. But it's gonna be awkward. If he takes over this area, then it's the classic take middle and win kind of thing, or like choose what army you eat kind of thing. So that is exactly what he's gonna do. Go ahead for that city, protect with artillery, and the thing is that lightning strike is charged, so they are respecting each other by a good distance. Like, look at these this positioning by Jitago is so conservative, so back, how do you say, so backwards, like, or whatever, I don't know, like back there, you know. None of these tanks are in range of a true boss's tank, so for a true boss to get anything of value, he would have to use his lightning strike. But there's enough stuff that is not in range of a true boss's lightning strike that then Jitago could strike back or counterattack with his lightning strike and have a better engagement. True boss is gonna go and stop this capture with double infantry. Doesn't really want to send any vehicles. This is a little dance that he'll probably be doing of instead of sending tanks, you know, getting to instead of doing like a soft brawling that one goes down in vehicles, because at this point it doesn't matter, they both have the lightning strike, right? There's no point here in maximizing charge efficiency. They both have it, so now they just have to make sure that they have the best positioning. And man, I imagine this must have been a nightmare, opening the move planner here and positioning everything just perfectly. I mean, at a certain point, it really does become just okay, I'm just gonna put stuff 2 turns away, right? Like this tank, fine. Like this tank can get shot. I'm fine with losing 1 tank maybe. It's thinking Jitago. I just don't want to get shot too much on the first strike. Like if he gets a good second turn with a lightning strike, then that's fine, but then I'll counterattack with more stuff and I'll be fine. So that's kind of the plan. It's very awkward, but I think at a certain point you have to keep it simple in your approach to the positioning, or else you're just gonna literally have nightmares when you go to bed to sleep about your match. And now they're back to dead even income. Actually, Achubos does have this pair of cities, so he will be ahead. It is kind of awkward though, because during these past few turns of this trade, it's kind of weird who has more or whatever. It does seem like Jitago is a bit ahead on that unit value, but does it really matter? Does it matter when you have lightning strike? So they're gonna keep shuffling those units. I think Jitago, he's really trying to double down, as I keep hitting the microphone. I'm sorry if you hear that little boom or something, but really doubling down on this city, which is a win-win for him. Because he has the middle first, he can kind of do this, which in part is like, okay, if you don't do anything, then I'll get the city and I'll be ahead in income. And so it's forcing Achubos to start a fight. He can keep sending infantry all he wants, but eventually he'll have to start sending vehicles. Maybe if he keeps poking at the bear, then eventually Achubos will do some sort of not ideal lightning strike or attack or misposition, right, to keep interrupting the city. And now he's gonna make a rocket, which would be really nice, as we saw in the previous match, to kind of get it in range. If you can put it right here, it can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can put it in this shoal or this one or something of that sort. Then he'll be able to lock that down without having to send more infantry or more vehicles. He still has a few more infantry to keep trading them down, but eventually he'll run out. As you also get close to unit limit, you are getting close. You're slowly getting into that mega tank endgame where they're pretty much just making mega tanks. You get close to unit limit, right? Like we're at 47, 46. I think the unit limit is, I can't see, but it's probably 50. Maybe it's like 60. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 50. We can see next turn perhaps as Jitago reaches 49. But it's like you want to maximize your unit population, right? So you start making mega tanks. That's the most efficient thing. You start changing your infantry or your tanks. Yeah, you can delete this and make a mega tank and rockets. Like here's just gonna be mega tanks and rockets. That's gonna be the end game. And rockets are gonna be great to do that, to lock down the city. So now that got stopped, so this is fine. He can kind of pull back. But look at this army accumulation, guys. Like you don't see this very often, and you can see why this was one of the most followed games. Definitely big stalled out boards like this do attract a lot of views. People really want to see those armies explode. And Achubos, he's not gonna just sit back. He's actually moving slowly towards this corner, maybe in part I guess protecting from this capture, it would be nice to have an artillery perhaps. These mega tanks are kind of menacing or threatening to break through anything and then attack any artillery that wants to protect this. So having some of these infantry in range to protect this capture is nice. Maybe in part to start threatening this, but it's like it's in range of the space, so I'm not sure how viable that is. So again, he's gonna have to send a few. He did take out an infantry here, and then he just goes to interrupt this. We'll see if he puts the rocket closer over here to then next turn have it in position. Okay, maybe he doesn't. Okay, he's just gonna lock down this city and I don't know, the lab. But that's gonna go down. And Jataku's gonna send an infantry. He's gonna get taken out. He's gonna double down. Yeah, and restart the capture, I guess. He didn't join cap. That's weird. Might have made a mistake. This one was at 6. Maybe he might have finished the infantry here and then he joined. So this is gonna force another infantry. And look, he's starting to run out of infantry. So eventually he's gonna have to start sending tanks. Actually, these tanks are also kind of forcing some tanks, but look at this positioning. The fact that this is split off as well, I just realized, is it also kind of means that if a true boss can't join these two armies, right? If he doesn't invest enough on this base, then Jataku could kind of go and take out this base, and that would be game ending pretty much, right? So he does have to, at a certain point, invest some army over here, and at the same time have the possibility of joining these two. He really doesn't want to lose this pivot area where he could join these armies and attack lightning strike. So very, very tricky situation for a true boss. Rocket actually is not gonna move. Wow, okay. So I'm not sure what the rocket is for. It's just possibly just to lock down the lab, and just, I don't know, get some more shots. But oh, it looks like, okay. So max pop or unit limit is like 60 or 65, and it looks like that last turn of a true boss positioning way out over here on these shoals instead of back here like he was doing. It might look like Jataku is saying, I think this might be the turn. So he's gonna go for some first strikes. And oh boy, I think this might be it. Yeah, so Neotank is gonna go and attack that mega tank. Wow. Sacrifices another tank. He is going in. We're gonna see one of the biggest lightning strikes with over 600,000 unit value. This has to be. This is probably the biggest lightning strike that I've ever seen. You guys can tell me if you've ever seen any other one, but yeah, get ready because that is a whole lot of mega tanks and a whole lot of neo tanks and artillery in range to break through. Just like brace yourselves, guys. Infantry gonna move forward, gonna make some more, and yeah, like that turn was just for positioning. So let's see now. This is gonna hurt. 670,000 against 620,000. Below an income, right? Just a little bit, but it's not gonna matter now. So Neotank is gonna sacrifice, then guarantee the kill there. Megatank is gonna finish that off. Artillery, and then tank, attack, artillery, sacrifice of a tank, okay. And Megatank is gonna take that out. Megatanks do more damage to a Megatank than like Neotanks do to other Neotanks. They have a little bit higher. Instead of 55, I think it's like 65 base. So there's some surprising breakthroughs there. Gonna take all of these out as well. Kind of overkill here, but it is what it is. I'm gonna break through, take out that artillery, take out that tank. Gonna take out that rocket. Gonna even take out that mega tank. Wow, even at 8, easily take out that medium tank and that tank. And first strike there. Gonna sacrifice to get. Doesn't get the kill. Okay, that was a roll. And that, I think that's it. I think those are all the hits, but there's still like 3 mega tanks. And look at this, like what, 6 mega tanks here, 2 mega tanks over here, and another one over here. There's just so many mega tanks. This is ridiculous. When was the last time you saw a border like this? And if we look at the mega tank count now for our true boss, most of his are over here in this right side area. His stronger area, a bunch of them got taken out. I guess they were kind of like evenly spread out, and another case of Jataku just picking one side to kill and leaving the other. But that's 1, 2 healthy mega tanks in this area against freaking 6, 9 mega tanks if you want. Like, that's crazy. and starting 2 captures, so that's gonna change the income disparity. And you have most of these mega tanks over here, and he's gonna try to break through if these mega tanks can get some value, but they're so far away from all of these. I don't think they can reach these. They only move 4 tiles, right? So he's using them to clear some infantry, and he's gonna take out that Neo tank, take out a tank, take out the other Neo tank, take out that tank. He does clear a Neo tank with a mega tank and another tank. There's still just this. Oh my god, I can't say that. There's still just this huge wall of this block of 6 mega tanks. No, 7 mega tanks. Okay, now he uses the super. So let's see if these mega tanks can actually, maybe that like mega tank and Neo tank. It seems to be the combo to break them. Sacrifices a recon, okay, and that. Sacrifice some more vehicles. Okay. Keep sacrificing this. These sacrifices are not worth it. Yeah, and that's just, he actually does top out. He probably knew that he had lost, and man, that was crazy. Like these mega tanks could not reach these over here. They could have gotten one single first strike over here. Like this mega tank could have reached here, and that was it. And then same case as the last match, Jetagen would have been ahead on that charge. Like Jetagen would have been very happy to keep brawling here after the super from a true boss. Just keep brawling. He would get like, I don't know, freaking 30, 40 something amount of charge for free, while a true boss still has the super on, right? So he would get 0 charge. So that would guarantee that Jetagen would get the super again first, way ahead of a true boss, while being ahead on unit value and income and everything. So just really well played there. A beautiful dance there of these 2 top players positioning in the map around the match. In the early game of I need to stop your contested, no, I need to get mine, the early income and all that kind of thing. And then all of a sudden the quick switch from Jetagen to not only stop the pressure, but then join the army and go first for the base kill, forcing then Atrubas to actually do the same, but he was going to be 1 turn behind, or I guess half a turn behind if you want to call it like that. And he was able to get the base kill, you know, one turn quicker, if not more, and then which meant that he was able to get positioning in the middle quicker, leaving Atrubas outside of the middle, so awkward positioning, having to invest on both sides, not being able to join them. And then maybe a desperation moment there by a true boss in this, like in the previous turn. Like he was doing so well with positioning here, but then he kind of positioned way out here and just allowing a lot of very valuable kills, like killing these 2 mega tanks. I think he first struck some of these, I mean these as well, right, with this. So I think it was just kind of inevitable. Just the positioning from Jetagen was just too good. Having the middle here, deciding where he can attack, forcing a true boss into awkward builds, like, oh, do I build here? Do I build here? If I build too much here, nothing here is going to take out my base, and then I can't do anything about it. It's like, it's just that. The timing, getting the middle was everything here. So, well played. I'm not sure what are the lessons here that you guys can take from this, besides Eagle Mirror is kind of a nightmare. At the intermediate levels, you can get away with kind of this overall strategy in the early game, just like rushing contested, denying as many, and going for negative trades, just like soft negative trades, just for the objective of having more charge, to then be the first one to get the super. That's like really important. There's like a few things that you have to keep in mind. If you can be the first one to get the super, and or have that little bit more of income into the install, those are kind of the objectives in this Eagle Mirror. And here it was, they even took it to the next level. It's like, okay, it's not even about that, because we're just gonna be in a stally situation. This mixed base gonna be kind of chaotic. Let's actually base trade. And Jetagen was a really good decision, because making it unmixed is so beneficial for Eagle, both, but him being the first one made it even better, right? Better positioning, and then awkwardness, positioning by a true boss into just winning. So GG, congratulations to Jetagen for getting this win. Very impressive. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. give the video a like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of thing. It not only is really good for the engagement, for the YouTube algorithm and all that kind of stuff, but it does also motivate me a lot. Like, it's really important for like my motivation. It really gets fueled from you guys' support. So yeah, again, thank you for watching. Bye bye.